Hello, everybody. My name is Dylan over here at Hearth. I am one of our customer success managers here. And when first signing up, you guys would have been assigned either to myself or one of my teammates here. And my role here is to make sure we get the account set up, get you trained on how to use everything, and really put you in the best spot to see success with Hearth as quick as possible. And today in this video, really wanted to cover financing, some of the best practices, and how to send this out from the perspective of someone that hasn't offered financing before, right? So if you're seeing this video, likely we're your first financing partner, and that's great. We're going to get you in a good spot to be able to offer this and start closing deals with Hearth. And so to start off here, really wanted to focus in on why financing is important, right? Why we should offer it. For one, it's going to help with close rate. We've done a lot of data statistics over here. We see on average a 17% increased close rate whenever we're implementing a financing tool like Hearth. Another one is for potential upsells or bringing project costs higher. So overall tickets of jobs with customers that work with us ends up seeing about an average of a 30% increase there. So great things to have in mind, right? More jobs and then higher price jobs, right? What we're looking for. Another thing that's great about, offering financing is early in the conversation, it's going to give you an insight into what the budget looks like for the customer earlier in the process, right? Do we need financing to move forward with this? Would it be a nice to have financing, or are you just going to go with, paying us out of pocket, right, for cash or check options? At least we're going to know that coming in. It's also going to help just keep your customers from potentially calling out on other contractors. You make it easy to work with you. You step up the probability that they're going to be happy with the quote you've given and the payment options that you presented. And a big one in that, right? Not all of your competitors are going to offer financing, right? This can be a differentiator. Set yourself apart from your competition. Maybe someone can't move forward without having a monthly payment option in place. Now you're someone that can fill that need. And then last one would be on sticker shock, right? I'm sure we've all run into this. A customer has an idea of what a price for a job should be in their head, and oftentimes that doesn't match up to what the job actually costs, right? So having a payment plan or a monthly payment plan that people can take advantage of can help aid that sticker shock, make that pricing conversation a little easier for you, where they do feel like maybe they're not going to be able to afford a project like this. Insert monthly payments, financing to help sort that need there, right? And as we start to get this in front of more customers, I've got a couple things I'd like to share and things that I've seen with some of our contractors here in Texas that I've shadowed, some of the best that we have around the country in terms of what they do, best practices that they operate on a daily basis with to see tons and tons of volume come through Hearth. And it comes down to two things. I've already mentioned it. Offer financing to everyone. Let everybody know what you got. Right? It's like going to a restaurant, you have a menu. If a hamburger's not on the menu at the restaurant, more than likely you're not going to order it. Same goes with financing. If they don't know the options on the table, they're likely not going to bring it up. You might have a few hand raisers here and there, and maybe you've heard it in the past, but what you'd like to do is just put it on the menu to begin with. Include it in a quote, include it in your scheduling conversation. Let them know these options exist, and you'll see a lot more people take advantage of it and a lot more people close because of it. Second one is pitch the monthly payment on these, right? Sell this from a monthly payment perspective. Hey, we have a $10,000 job here. We might be able to get you $200, $250 a month payments on this. That sounds great, right? I could do a 10K job now and only pay $250 a month. I'd like to see what those options look like. Insert Hearth, right? We pre-qualify, run them through the application from there. So those are the two big things, right? Let's focus on getting this in front of everyone. Let everyone know you got it. And then secondly, pitch the monthly payment, right? That's what they want to hear. They want to be able to pay this off in a manner that works for them. Lump sum might not be the case for everyone. Making a monthly payment can definitely be a great route. And the next piece we're going to cover here is how to easily get this in front of your customers. In Hearth, we make it pretty easy. We have a number of ways to do it. And the best way for me to show this is going to be to share my screen here. So I'm actually going to pull up an example dashboard here for us. And one of the first things I want to highlight here is if we have a website, right, for your business, one great way to get this in front of customers is to put these marketing materials on your website, right? And I mentioned monthly payments before. You can see these are all website banners we can put on the website, all of them referencing back to that monthly payment. So they could click get my rates here, and it's going to go right to your financing application from there. So all of these can get put onto the website. We've even got a financing calculator you could put onto the website. Someone could put in job cost, credit score, and they'd get an estimated monthly payment at what they could be looking for there. And so with any of these, if you do want to install this banner, you're going to click this button here. And if you've used a web developer, you can just email the code directly to them. If you manage the website within your team, you can just pull the code here and have whoever manages that within your organization handle getting them on the website. So there's a great way to get that in front of people there. Another great option is if you're going to be using our quoting tool here with Hearth, we include the monthly payment option in all of our quotes we send out. And I'll show you an example. So for this, we have a deck rebuild here that's been quoted. So let's go ahead and pull it up. And so this is what that quote's going to look like, right? So we have who it was prepared for, your guys' business details on the right, the scope of work, and the total cost of the job, any fees or anything like that that come into play. And it's going to end up giving you a total cost, right? So in this case, that's $39,000. At the very bottom here, this is what I was alluding to. So now we have put this on the menu. Financing's on the menu because we've quoted this customer and they know for a $40,000 job, they could have payments as low as $620 a month. If they're interested, they click get my personalized offer. It's going to take them right to your financing link from there. So a great way to make sure we don't miss any customers and present it every time is to implement this into your quote. For some of you, maybe you're going to be using a different quoting partner, right? Or you're using a different software to quote your customers. That's fine. We can make that work too. So if that's the case, what I would suggest is adding that link in some fashion into your quote, right? Letting people know we have financing and monthly payment options here. Click this link to find out more, right? And it's going to take them right to your financing application from there. And this is that link in your account. It will be in marketing and then under your web tools. So this is that link we could pull and go ahead and put into that system there. And we can go ahead and type this one in just so you guys can see what that would look like. So if I had clicked that, it's going to take you to a pre-qualification here, which we can see loops back to the account I'm showing you guys there. And the customer is going to fill out their information here. And to go back a step, we do have another way to be able to share this as well. Maybe you just have a one-off customer you've already quoted or you've talked to them in the past. You want to let them know you have financing options. What we can do is just click send new here and then go to offer financing. From there, we're just going to add a client in. If you've got people in the list and they're already in your client list, you can select them. Or if we need to add a brand new client, we'll click add a new client here. From there, we'll put in first name, last name, and then we either need the email or the phone number in this case. That way we can text and email the link over. Ideally, we'd have both, right? Because then we can shoot the email and text over. So once we get that info, we'll go ahead and click save. That's going to add the client in. And then from there, we'll keep one or the other or both as the sending method for email and text. Click send, and the customer is going to receive that on their end and then move forward with the application from there. So again, multiple ways to do it, right? We just covered a number of them there. Tons of different ways to get this in front of customers. At the end of the day, you just want to bring it up as early as possible and get these in front of your customers whenever, they're making these buying decisions, right? Even if it's before pricing or into the pricing conversation, make sure that we let them know we have these monthly payment options available. And then the next thing you might think is again, you've talked a lot, Dylan, about somewhat how to pitch it, but not formally, right? So the next bit I'll cover is how to pitch it and when to pitch it with customers. So something I've seen is you could do it at the scheduling call, letting people know while we're scheduling that appointment, be sure to bring up our monthly payment options. We'd love to walk you through that. You could do it in the quote I just showed you right now, right? You do it through Hearth, we can send that over. If you use an outside quoting tool, we can implement that link into a note section of that quote, that quoting system. And every time we send it over, at least your financing link is there for them. Another one is to include it in the pitch just before we get to the pricing conversation. It might sound something like this. We can break any project down to a monthly payment for your customers. Half of our customers pay with cash and check. The other half take a look at monthly payments. Let me know which of these buckets you fall into. If they're interested in monthly payments, you have the green light to go ahead and send that link over in whatever fashion you want and help walk them through the application from there. And so where does Hearth come in on all this? How does it all work? We covered them, right? We covered some of this. For one, we can embed the quote through Hearth. I sound like a broken record, I'm sure, but it's important, right? Put it in every quote, let everyone know. You know how to do the send new, right? So just going into send new and then offer financing that way. Another way to get in front of them. From there, right, we've got it in front of them. Your next question might be, how do we track this, right? Where are we going to see what's going on with our customers? It's a great question, right? So to do so, what we're going to do is click either into financing here or financing on the side here. And when we do click in, it's going to pull us up into our pipeline of current customers we have offering or that have been offered financing. This is a demo account here, right? So you can see all of them are in the sent status, which means we've at least sent the link over. But as people start to move forward in the process, you'll see their status change. So sent means we got it in front of them. Loan form started would mean they actually started filling out the application for us, but haven't fully completed it yet, right? Pre-qualified, this is going to mean they have filled out their information. They have submitted it for pre-qualification. Again, this isn't going to affect their credit score, and we're going to run that through our 17 lenders, show them all the options they have. And then once they're funded, that would mean they chose one of those options to move forward with and have been approved and funded, and everything's good to move forward from there, right? So with pre-qualified and funded customers, there's no need to come in here to track. We're going to notify you when someone pre-qualifies and when they're funded. So the outreach from us would look something like this. Dylan just got pre-qualified for $20,000 loan. He saw 10 different options, right? So we let you know everything's moving in the right direction. I have options. Funded would be a little more direct, right? Dylan went with a SoFi loan for $15,000. His funding has been approved and sent over today, right? At that point, we have the green light to move forward with the customer and invoice them from there. A key takeaway in this is with Hearth loans, these funds are going to send directly to the customer. So basically what we're doing is we're taking someone that couldn't afford the job and we're turning them into a cash buyer. They pay monthly, they can pay you in full now. So once we get someone to funded, treat them just like you would any cash or check customer. Invoice and stick to your current process. If that's collecting a down payment, if that's collecting everything up front, right? Run your typical process. Everything's the same as a cash buyer from there. You've just helped them get the funding in place. And then last thing I want to cover here is our 0% credit cards. So if anyone added this into their program, it can be a great fit. If you haven't added it on yet, you can speak to, myself if I'm your CSM or whichever CSM you've been assigned, and they can walk you through the benefits and how to get that started. So a couple things to keep in mind with those is the credit card options. You will need a 680 or above credit score to see those options. And typically people are getting approved somewhere between $5,000 and $15,000 on those options, right? So if we're looking at a $30,000 job and the customer needs to finance the entire project, maybe we'd send them the personal loan route as opposed to sending them through the credit card route. Not saying the 0% couldn't be a fit for a job of that size. We would just need to adjust our pitch and how we're selling this to more of a partial financing perspective, right? Let's see what you can get covered on the card at 0%, and then you can come out of pocket for the difference. Let's say I get approved on the card for $15,000, then I would just need to cover the other 15, right, out of pocket. So we could do that in terms of breaking it up. But if we know they're going to need the entire loan or the entire project funded, we'd probably send them the loan route where they can get a minimum of $1,000 all the way up to $250,000, right? So it can cover a wide variety of projects at that point. Other things to keep in mind with the 0% card is the 0% period will be shorter typically than our typical loans, right? Which are anywhere from 3 to 12, even 20 years at time. With the 0%, they're either going to get a 12-month period, a 15-month period, or a 21-month period on those cards, right? And with that, I've said it multiple times, this is obviously going to be a credit card that the customer is going to pay you with. So from there, if you are going to invoice a customer, you are going to collect payment through that credit card, there will be transaction fees involved. One nice thing about Hearth with our invoicing tool here is we can pass those platform fees over to the customer. So you're not coming out of pocket for whatever your credit card processing fee is. You're passing that to the customer, so they're paying that off on their end, right? So if you are interested in learning more about the invoices, again, connect with me if I'm your CSM or your team member, and we can walk you through that, how to best do it, and what might help you out there. And then last thing from my end is I covered a lot here today, right? You guys are newer to financing, so you might feel like a little stuck. Maybe you don't have the time to manage this. That's totally fine. There is a way where we could have someone help out and do some of the follow-up for you, help point customers in the right direction. We have a new add-on feature here called Concierge, which I would love to share more about, and either me or whichever CSM you've been assigned can share a lot about, where when someone pre-qualifies, one of your homeowners in this case, we're going to have outreach coming out to that customer, following up with them, letting them know best suggestions on maybe adding a co-borrower, maybe helping them pick and choose through the options they've been listed, and overall just help push them to the point of being funded and having everything they need in place. So it can be a great help, especially if time is of the essence or you don't feel comfortable having these financing conversations. It's a great add-on and something we have seen a ton of customers of ours have a lot of success. So if you are interested in that, some of the do it for, like we do it for you type financing, you're going to want your service. And that's something we can definitely navigate on our end. So again, reach out to the team member that you've been assigned if that is the case. And other than that, that's everything I've got for you. The last thing I will tell you is you always have your help center guide here. That is going to have our support email and number for you if anything happens. And then, of course, you've been assigned myself or one of my teammates who are going to be the point of contact on your account. So if something does come up, please let us know. We'd love to at least get on a call with you and do some question and answer scenarios, and we'll get you in a good spot from there. So I hope this was helpful for everybody. It's always fun for me to get to run these. So I appreciate everyone that's checking it out. And we're really excited to work with you. So we'll all talk soon. Thank you.